This is another 6-player progressive card play friends game which is being played on the classic Risk map. The orange player is a beginner, the blue and yellow players are intermediates, the black player is an expert, and the white player is a bot. I'm the red player in this game, and from what I see is that I could potentially capture Australia. Probably in 2 turns, or if lucky enough maybe only in 1. Being the 4th player, I will receive 4 troops in my turn, which I am going to combine with my 3 troops of New Guinea and blitz the 3 troops of the yellow player. 7 versus 3 will be guaranteed 100% success rate blitz roll, and then if I lose no troops having 6 left, then I will blitz the 2 white bots troops as well, or in case I will have fewer than 6 troops on that army left, then I will wait for another turn. And alright, I lost even 2 troops from that attack, so I'm definitely waiting for another turn. All I need is to hope that the white bot doesn't add more troops in Australia, as otherwise my plan to go for it could be ruined. But most importantly, the yellow player's troops were wiped out, so with him being the 6th player and getting 6 troops but being cut off from Australia, he isn't going to ruin my plans. Of course the yellow player probably isn't really happy about my attack, as if I hadn't crushed his troops, then with him adding some more troops in Australia and being safe in it, he would have definitely been more spread out. But I mean, I want to increase my advantage if I see an opportunity. Continents in progressive card games don't matter as much, but if you can capture them easily early in the game, then they could give a good boost for sure. Well, could really depend on each individual situation, but I mean, if you end up having like 10 troops more than non-continent players each before the sets are being started to be traded in, then you will definitely be the least suitable target to be taken out, and then at the same time be the player who is the most suitable to take out others as well, at least when it comes to the troop-wise for sure. Well, in this case the blitz rolls to crush other players' smaller armies weren't really successful for me. I lost 2 and then 3 troops. So actually I might not get that much advantage, but all in all I should still become the strongest player before the sets are being traded in. So just the problem is that the orange player fortified his biggest army in Siam to threaten me, and I'm not sure whether he actually wants to take Australia from me or he is just teasing me for the memes. Looking to his stats, he seems to be a fairly new to the game player, so I think that's very likely that he wants to take Australia for real. But I mean, I strengthened my border so it isn't an easy take anymore like it was before. It's progressive cards, so I don't think it's worth for the orange player to take Australia from me at all. Well, with the orange player being a new player, I don't expect him to know much about progressive cards, but I mean, even if he treats this game like it would be fixed, he still wouldn't take Australia from me with the blue player's army being close to him, right? I mean, right? Apparently I was wrong. I guess it just isn't my lucky day. The no Australia, no win strategy was beaten with another no Australia, no win strategy, so theoretically the orange player should become a winner now, so unless some another player takes Australia from him, becoming a new Australian player. Anyway, jokes aside, now I'm the weakest player who has the biggest chances to be eliminated first, and I just accept my defeat. This is a very casual game, and I think the most important thing is that all of us just having fun, a lot of it, and I even got a nice opportunity to send a lot of fun and cool emojis. Thank God I've got a set at 3 cards, so I might not be completely dead. But still my chances to win are very low. So now I will just stop getting cards so I won't be worth to be eliminated for them. I had a set at 3 cards so I could choose whether I want to 0 card or 1 card, and I decided to start 1 carding. When you 0 carding, you need to hope that another player fails to take someone out for 5 cards, and when you're 1 carding you need to hope that another player fails to take someone out for 4 cards, so you would be able to not only finish taking the weakened player out, but also you would be able to trade in that set in the same turn, coming back to the game as a decent opponent again. It's safer to 0 card than 1 card, as with 0 cards it won't be worth to take you out for the cards at all, while with you having 1 card, eventually it might come the time when it will be worth for someone to take you out, or maybe some player won't get a set at 4 cards, So in order to save himself from being taken out, he might still take you out for just one card to trade in a set. But usually players get to trade in sets before getting the 5 card, so there's way more unlikely to expect that someone will fail to take a player who has 5 cards in comparison with 4. And this is why I'm currently using the 1 carding strategy instead of 0 carding 1, it gives more chances to make a comeback. Which of course are still very low, but I mean I would have been dead anyway, so at least the strategy gives me some tiny hopes. But it quite seems that my opponents treat this game more like it would be a fixed cards one, so I wouldn't be surprised if I get eliminated even when it isn't worth to take me out at all. Well, I assume the blue player might know some more about progressive cards since he tried to be spread out, but he brought his army next to me, and that's possible that he might decide to take me out, making himself easy target to be taken out next. But maybe he just wants to have his army here and that's it. He just crushed 4 troops of the orange player in North America, and unless I'm missing something I don't think there was any good reason to do so. As in progressive cards, you should really try not wasting your troops and then avoid making other players become easy targets so they could potentially be taken out by someone else for the cards. But what I saw is that the blue player sent smiley face with tongue emoji and then he sent an angry emoji. So maybe he crushed the orange player's troops in North America because he doesn't like that the orange player wiped me out from Australia, and by that maybe he just wanted to show me some support. And if so, then it's really appreciated for sure. Though for some reasons I'm still very afraid that he could suddenly decide to take me out. And then the yellow player's army next to me is scaring me a little bit too. I assume the yellow player might know that in progressive cards you should look to take your opponents out for the cards, so I just think that with all of those turns passing and with me not getting any cards anymore, he still didn't realize that it will be never worth for him to take me out. So he should just accept this fact and move on, as in case he keeps blocking his army next to me, then he might miss an actual opportunity to take someone out with having all of those troops blocked. Fortunately enough for him, the orange player unleashes his army with the orange player needing to go through North Africa in order to take the white player out. The orange player has come with a very great decision to take the white bot out, as it was really worth for the cards. But unfortunately I think he misses another opportunity to take another player out, which might have even won him the whole game. After crushing the 6 whites troops in Congo, the orange player should have only split 7 troops in it for the whites' 3 troops territory of South Africa instead of going with his whole army here. So if he had left the majority of troops in North Africa, then after taking the white player out he could have straightly continued taking any other player besides obviously me out, might even ending up eliminating all of us in a single turn. I think if he had split only 7 troops in Congo, leaving his army on the territory of North Africa, then I think it would have made the most sense to go taking the black player out, then after trading in a set and wiping all of the troops from North America, finish taking down the rest of the yellow player's troops in Europe, and then finally taking the blue player out, or the last opponent who could have done something. But then with trading in a set from the blue player's cards he would have taken me out in the same turn as well, winning the whole game and getting a very legendary victory. So hopefully the orange player rewinds this game and tries to really understand what I've just said. I want that the orange player wouldn't miss the opportunity to win another time a similar situation occurs, and then I want that he would understand that after ending his turn it was a very bad idea to fortify his troops on Siam, making them totally blocked, as at this point of the game 2 troops Australia was worthless anyway with a comparison with the value of cards, so you don't want to put your troops to a blocked place, as then you might not be able to take another player out when it's worth for his cards. And then obviously the same tip about blocking the troops applies to the black player as well. He was keeping the majority of his troops in the territory of Peru blocked when having South America captured. 2 troops South America at this point of the game was useless for him anyway, and if the blue player hadn't unleashed it, then he would have missed the opportunity to take the orange player now, which will lead him of winning the whole game. And when it comes to the blue player, he made a very great decision to take the yellow player out, and then even though I had only 1 card, it was still worth for him to take me out as well. But when I think he made a very bad move by crushing his traded-in troops into the orange player's army while not being able to take him out. Which, with the orange player not having a set at 4 cards, completely gave away the game to the black player. I believe the players were talking something about the balance of the game, but the balance of the game is being applied to the fixed cards where the set values are fixed and in which you cannot get insane amount of troops. In progressive cards, in the most of cases, you should basically never use your troops on taking other players' armies down if you're not completely taking that player out for the cards. And then you should not make another player to be an easy target to be taken out for another player for the cards as well. As that player, after easily getting those cards and trading in a set, could become instantly overpowered, winning the whole game with no problems like in this situation the black player did. All in all, it was a very fun game, and thanks to all of the players for playing.